Audiobook Academy Biography presents George Eastman. Kodak cameras were invented by George Eastman, who made photography more widely available. A major player in the sector, his firm is still thriving today. George Eastman was an American photographer and filmmaker. Eastman Dry Plate and Film Company was established in 1880 by George Eastman. Kodak's first camera, a box camera with 100 exposures, went on sale in 1888. He went on to create the first Brownie Camera, a camera aimed at children. As of 1927, Eastman Kodak was America's largest photography enterprise. In 1932, Eastman took his own life. Early years and education. George Eastman was born in Waterville, New York, on July 12, 1854, and was named after his father, George Washington Eastman. In Rochester, where the family had relocated in 1860, George Sr. had established a tiny business school called Eastman Commercial College. Eastman was just 8 years old when his father died unexpectedly. The oldest of Eastman's two sisters was paralyzed by polio at the age of 16 and later died. Eastman's mother Mary was a boarder and Eastman dropped out of high school at 14 in order to help maintain the family's financial needs. As a messenger and office boy for insurance companies, he worked his way up through the ranks and studied accounting at home in order to earn more money. In the end, he was hired by the Rochester Savings Bank as a bookkeeper. Inventions. When Eastman was 24, he chose to film his vacation to Santo Domingo on the advice of a co-worker. Nevertheless, even just the camera gear was colossal in weight and expense. All the gear he needed was purchased, but he didn't go. Instead, he started looking for ways to make photography more accessible to the general public. Following the revelation of an emulsion formula for dry plates in a British periodical, Eastman developed a gelatin-based paper film and an apparatus for covering dry plate. Photography by Kodak. After beginning his budding photography enterprise in April 1880, he resigned from his bank job. The roll-holder device he and camera inventor William Hall Walker created in 1885 was submitted to the Patent Office in 1885. This resulted in cameras that were smaller and more cost-effective. His belief that items should have their own distinct identity led him to coin the term Kodak. As a result, he introduced the first Kodak camera in 1888. A few years later, he amended the company name to Eastman Kodak. Once a customer had used all 100 exposures on a roll of film, the camera was sent back to the company, which developed it and shipped it back. The company's slogan was "You press the button, we do everything else." It wasn't until Henry Reichenbach was hired by Eastman in 1889 to produce a flexible film that would be easier to load into cameras. With his motion picture camera, Thomas Edison adapted Eastman's film for use in his new invention, the Brownie Camera. With a $1 price tag, the Brownie Camera quickly became a favorite with military as well as new hobbyist photographers in 1900. He also helped the military in other ways, including the development of gas mask lenses that were unbreakable and the creation of a special camera for aerial photography during World War I. All in all, Eastman's invention sparked the current amateur photography obsession. Philanthropist. Despite his company's near-monopoly status for decades, Eastman was not your typical corporate exec. A pioneer in American business, he gave an outright gift to each of his employees out of his own pocket. He was one of the first to accept and implement employee profit sharing in the United States. Stock options were added to the company in 1919. With his generosity, he provided to the Rochester Institute of Technology, which later became MIT, and the Mechanics Institute of Rochester, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. His love of learning inspired him to donate to the University of Rochester, the Hampton and Tuskegee Institutes, and other educational institutions. "Education is the key to the future of the globe," he stated. He was especially concerned about dental clinics in Rochester and Europe. "It's a medical reality," he said, "that children have a better chance in life with better looks, better health, and greater energy if teeth, nose, throat, and mouth are properly taken care of during the crucial time of childhood." More than $100 million of Eastman's wealth was donated to charitable causes throughout his lifetime, according to estimates. Death and legacy. Because of a degenerative illness involving the hardening of the cells in the lower spinal cord, Eastman, a cyclist by passion, began to observe increasing immobility. Also, he had a serious case of diabetes. So on March 14, 1932, at the age of 77, he committed suicide by shooting himself in the heart with a single gunshot. A note he left said, "My work is done. Why wait? The life of our communities in the future needs what our schools of music and of other fine arts can give them. It is necessary for people to have an interest in life outside their occupations." George Eastman. In his youth, he was too busy and destitute to ever get married or have children, so he never did. The Eastman School of Music in Rochester, New York, was established by him in 1921, and he was an avid art collector on his many journeys to Europe. On the whole, it is considered that he enjoyed his life and provided millions of people the opportunity to do the same by capturing their memories on film. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.